What is going on, everybody? This is your good friend right here. Y'all see my face all pandemic, so why not keep the flow going and everything? So, everybody, I hope you're doing all right out there. It's a Friday and it's November, so I know everybody's getting ready for that wonderful week of Thanksgiving, pandemic style. I don't even know how that's gonna look for some of y'all, but hopefully it's good and hopefully it's safe. So, if you guys are tuning in, thank you guys so much. You are now tuned in to the season finale of this wonderful event I started known as Art to Heart. I'm so thankful for you guys being here. This is going to be a fun time because I'm getting ready to bring up our guest for this season finale, and it's a personal good friend of mine. But aside from all things, once again, thank you guys so much. Y'all going to probably hear that a lot throughout the show, but I definitely want to thank you guys because like this pandemic has been very trying on a lot of people, and a lot of us artists have been keeping busy during this pandemic. And as for me, I started doing other stuff aside from doing poetry events. So of course, you guys know I moved a poetry event here. And then I started doing this event along with another one. And you guys have been making it fantastic. So recap real quick of everybody that's featured on this show thus far for this first season. And by all means, we're going to get to season 2 because we got some people lined up for that already too. So we first kicked this off with an interview with the one and only Tony Todd. If you guys know Tony Todd, y'all know him from Star Trek, you know him from Final Destination, but a lot of y'all know him from the movie Candyman. From there, we were able to feature a spoken word artist, author, HIV activist, and phenomenal painter by the name of Stephanie Tough Love Brown, who featured on this event as well. And our last person that we featured was Megan Hollinshed, which, if you don't know who that is the OG voice of Nurse Joy from Pokemon. She also played the voice of Rangiku from the wonderful show known as Bleach, and it's also some other characters from Naruto, Yu Yu Hakusho, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's been dope. And as you can see, the running theme of this event has been always interviewing artists of different mediums. So it's not going to always be an actor. It's not going to always be a painter. It's not going to always be a voice actress. It's going to be any type of artist whatsoever. And by all means, I'm excited to bring in this next artist. But before we get going on this, if you are watching this wonderful event, by all means, say hi so that way we can get you up on the screen and show the world that you're commenting on the wonderful event. And also, take the time to share this with your friends. Get them involved in the action. We want to get everybody involved with what we got going on. And also, this ain't going to be about me just asking questions. If you, the audience, have questions for our feature, please feel free to post them in the comments. We will get them up there so that way the feature can answer. So it's going to be a dope event. So without further ado, I'm done talking. I'm done laying down the groundwork for everything that's about to get ready to happen. But what I want to do is go ahead and bring up our guest for the night. Our guest for the night is a fantastic brother I've known for a long time. When I mean a long time, like, oh man, it's like a decade plus. And it's funny how we started out as friends. We went different paths. We still been friends, but we went different paths from what everybody knows us for. But I guess I'm going to kind of get into that later when we talk about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, your feature for tonight, the artist that we will be interviewing. Not only is he a DJ, he's a radio personality. He's the host of his own podcast known as Smash the Mat Podcast. And he is also a professional wrestler with Ring Wars Carolina. So we got a lot to talk about. Everybody, please put your hands together for the one and only Greg G-Money Johnson. Woo!
Yes. Yes. You see that entrance? That was perfect wrestler entrance.
I love it. What's going on, man? How you
doing? What is great in the state, my brother? It is the ugliest brother in radio, also known as the radio rock star. G-Money with an I, not an E. We out here.
I love it. I love it already. This energy about to be dope. So I was looking at everybody right now commenting as we go in. So I'm going to make this as fun as I can for you and everybody else. So let you know how we're going to do this. So first thing I always do in my features, we ask a few icebreaker questions. And then after we get through the icebreaker questions, we start going into to get to know G-Money, like who is G-Money and everything like that. So you ready?
I'm born ready on fish and spaghetti, baby.
Let's go. First icebreaker question.
Oh, my bad.
Here we go. First icebreaker question. If you had the ability to fly, would you fly with your hands stretched out from side to side, or would you fly with your hands in front of your face like this? And why?
I like that question. Well, you said, would I fly out like this or like this?
Oh no, would you fly
or like this?
Or like this? Yes.
Let's see. Superman flies like this. And I feel like that's great if you're on the offensive. If you're on the attack, you want to fly like this because you're going to fly straight into somebody. If you're chilling, it might be better to fly like this, you know? So I'm not super aggressive most of the day. So I go like this. I wear good deodorant, so I'd probably fly with my arms out so they can smell the Old Spice. Is that G? Oh, G's here. G's here.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
There we go.
So, question number 2. What is your favorite word and why?
My favorite. Can I cuss?
Yeah, by all means, be you. Be authentically you.
Oh man, my favorite word. Now I was going to say free because I love that word, free, food, but I'm gonna have to say bitch. Bitch is my favorite word. Look, I'm a DJ, right? So when I'm DJing or something, like you can literally fit bitch into any song, and I just randomly say it at random times. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to party with me, bitch, let me see what you got for me, bitch. You know, what's the I'm just saying, like, I can go all day with just random bitches and songs. I could do that, you know, and my apologies if this offends anybody, but you know, that was the wrong question to ask me. Like, I hope my mom's not watching. I see my sister's watching. What's up, Nisha?
So we'll go to the next question. So what's your least favorite word and why?
My least favorite word?
Yes.
My least favorite word is Pacific, because I hate when people say, let me be Pacific. And like, you're not being Pacific. You're being specific. You don't even know what Pacific is. So, yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So, Kelly West from Q98 just commented.
Oh, what's up, Kelly?
And she says, I love saying rock that.
Rock that bitch.
So good.
That's what I say before I go DJ at clubs. I'm about to rock that bitch.
Love it. See, it's good we have a DJ on here. So like I said, whole different mindset. So this is an interesting question and we're gonna get into like you being, of course, hosting your podcast, you being a DJ, you being a wrestler. What profession other than the 3 that you do now would you like to attempt and why?
Besides DJing, besides podcast hosting, besides a wrestler, what else would I have liked to do?
Yep. What profession would you like to try to attempt and why?
Professional gamer.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I would love to be a professional gamer, especially with all the time I spent doing that when I was younger. How awesome would it be to get paid for doing something that you absolutely, I mean, I do that already, but gaming is something else. Like oh man, I would love to be a professional gamer. Like there are currently professional gamers that make more than you and me right now.
Yep.
Playing like 2K and Fortnite and stuff like that. Man,
I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I know of one that literally makes almost. I'm not gonna give you a specific amount, but almost makes as much as my wife makes, and he plays only Tekken tournaments. So that's crazy.
Bananas. It's bananas.
And all right, last icebreaker question: If you believe heaven exists, or depending on what your religious denomination is, or whatever you believe in, God, higher power, depending on what you look at, if you believe that exists, what would you like to hear that higher power say to you once you pass on?
Probably something like a couple things. One of those things would be it's okay. It wasn't going to work out in your way either way. For some things that I meant that I was dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Probably stressed about something, you know, rather than you made the right choice on this or you didn't make the right choice on that. Let me know straight up. Hey, look, I was just messing with you, see what you would do, you know.
Mm.
And another one would be glad to see you. Glad you're here. That would be great.
I love it.
That I made enough good decisions. That would be awesome.
Good. See,
Yes.
iceberg question.
Yes. Good job. Well done. Yes.
Iceberg question wasn't that hard, were they?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not at all. Except for you had to think about what your favorite words were. And then
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah.
you settled in on the itch. So
Yeah. The itch bay.
all you want. I have to watch me.
No, it's cool.
So, Greg G-Money Johnson. So now we're in a serious question. So Greg G-Money Johnson, how did the story of G-Money? Well, let's not even start with G-Money. How did the story of Greg Johnson begin?
The story of Greg Johnson actually started in a trailer park. Started in a trailer park after I was born, and it soon moved to Fort Bragg. I don't remember the trailer park at all, but I remember my first couple years growing up on Fort Bragg. My dad was in the military. He did 22 years. My mom, since I realized what working was, my mom never not had a job ever. Like to this day, she was always working. She was always in some kind of school. Like right now, she's a registered nurse. She owns her own business. But from the very second that I understood, you know, the littlest things about life, I knew she was always working. My dad was always doing stuff. He was always doing army stuff. My mom was always working. We moved to Fayetteville in 1990. And at first I just came up like a regular kid, man. Playing basketball, video games, action figures, loving wrestling, stuff like that. I grew to my younger years. I really, really loved basketball. You couldn't tell me anything. I knew I was gonna make it to the NBA. You couldn't tell me up until the age of like 18. I knew I was gonna make it to the NBA. Played on like basketball teams all through middle school and high school. Avid gamer, a nerd, if you will. When I graduated high school, I went to Fayetteville State University. Attitude check, Bronco pride. How some people really enjoy their high school years and I wish I could go back to high school. Mm-hmm. High school was cool, it was fun, but screw that. I would go back to college. I loved college. College was so amazing, and that's where I think I really discovered more about myself in college than anywhere else. Took me 5.5 years to get out. We're not going to talk about that instead of 4, but we're not going to talk about that. But
you still graduated though. That's the main thing.
I got the degree. I don't know where it's at. It's here though. It's in this house. Around that time is when. Right before I'm so glad it took me so long to get out, because if it didn't, I wouldn't be in radio right now. I would not.
So I'm going to hold you right there, because we're going to get into that, because there's 2 things I want to get into that's going to lead to that. So I guess my biggest question would ask would be, you was mentioning how you were, of course, a nerd, you was a gamer and everything, but you being a DJ, can you name like probably one of the first earlier moments in your life when you start gravitating to music a lot? Like what can you name like some of the redefining moment where you like, you know what, I love music? Because sometimes you hear songs and it's one of those things, after a while you start gravitating to more and more, and then everything starts to click more the more music you hear. Because I want to get to the club socket a little bit, but I want to at least start with that.
So I would say My mom told me that when I was like 3 or 4 years old, one day she was I guess she was watching back when TV used to actually show music videos, and there was a Boy George song on. I don't know what song it was, and she said I would just stand by the TV and just be bopping like I just loved it. So that's my earliest memory of music. But I was grounded a lot as a teenager, because I used to like not shut up in class. I had good grades, but I just wouldn't shut up in class. So a lot of times I'd be on punishment, and like I couldn't have anything, like no TV, you can't go outside, none of that stuff. But I had my radio. And at the time there was a radio station. There was always Foxy 99, but there was also this radio station called, I think it was called Power 107 The Flavor, but it was 107 The Flavor, something like that. 107.7 The Flavor, or 107 The Flavor. And I would, that was one of those stations that would play songs explicit after 10 p.m. So I just be chilling.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is late 90s stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I was.
So early BET Uncut on the radio.
Oh, yeah, man. Exactly. Minus the, let me know what that thing smell like. You know what I'm saying? What that thing smell like. You don't remember Black Jesus. I know that's what his name was. I did research. His name was Black Jesus. A lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. A lot of y'all know. There was two things I remember from BET Uncut was the tip drill video and what that thing smelled like. The most ridiculous video ever. So low budget.
So your sister also said it was mixtapes because you used to make CDs.
That is true. When I was in high school, and Napster was out. You know what I'm saying? And I would download like song. It would take forever in a day to download song. Download all these songs, and I put mixtapes together, and I would sell them in school. My highest selling. There was a couple guys that did it, but my highest selling mixtape was a slow jam mixtape, and it was called "Screwing You Volume 2." Yes. Look, all of my slow jam CDs outside of the first one rhymed. It was like Screw Music Volume 1. It was Screwing You Volume 2. It was, what was number 3? I was like, Let Me Beat Volume 3. Boinking on the floor, Volume 4, Hitting It Live, Volume 5. Yo, it was wild, yo. It's
we get mad at that because I know around the time when we met, this is back in the college we met. I was burning CDs on posts for the post there, and I used to always do like the Quiet Storm series, like Volume 1.
Yeah, I remember because you had like this gigantic. Hold on, there we go. You had this gigantic book of CDs that was like this thick. You know what I'm saying? And when we take our road trips, we just
grab a CD,
just all day. So no kind of order.
So I'm gonna move to another question because I'm actually about to bring up something that deals with the ugliest brother in radio, but I'm gonna talk about the ugly part. But somebody just asked this question: what is your favorite song of all time?
Oh man, of all time. Oh my gosh, my favorite song of all time. Do I even have a favorite song? If I have to pick, I did think I was DJ Clue. If I had to pick one, and I'm just so I'm not on this long, I'm just going to say, let's just say, for sake of argument, Thriller by Michael Jackson. Let's just say that. Because I have no idea, but I love me some Thriller, though. Yeah. Demetri said, I remember that book. That's right. That's right.
So, everybody knows you as the ugliest brother in radio.
Yeah.
But
there we go.
But people may think you just came up with that name, but I believe that you are a part of a group that actually bonded from the club. Like,
you was waiting on that one.
and everything, known as the Kingdom of Ugly. Can you please
KOU.
Can you please explain what Kingdom of Ugly is, sir?
All right, so when me and my bro Lewis Diggs were in college, me, him, my boy Jerry, when we were in college, Lou and his cousin Zoe used to always, even though we went to different schools, Zoe went to different schools from us, but he would come around. Well, he's from here, so he would come around like every other weekend or whatever. We'd be kicking it, and Lou would be like, "Man, I can't get no girls, man. I'm ugly, man." And Zoe like, "Nah, bro, you ain't ugly. I'm ugly, dog." You know what I'm saying? And Lou, and then somebody else, "Nah, man, I'm the ugliest one." And Lou would be like, "Nah, dog, I'm king ugly, dog." And Zoe like, "Nah, man, I'm the emperor of ugly. I'm the sultan of ugly. I'm the prince of ugly." And it's like, and then like we would talk about, "Oh, T Dot is here. T Dot was good." And it would that's all we would talk about. Like we would and we bring it up at random ass times, yo. Damn, you ugly muff. You know what I'm saying? So, and we just came up with the crew, Kingdom of Ugly. It started out with like 4 guys, and it started out with 4 of us, and then it expanded. Like me and you, like I was the Prince of Ugly, and Mr. Funny Guy here was the Clown Prince of Ugly. Like, and you remember the cars? Like the car we had, I had the decal. I had the old school decal on my '97 Maxima. It said G-Money on the front, and then it said "Hail to the Prince" on the back, baby. Hail to the Prince. You know, but so that's how it started, and then we all would go to the club together, right? And all of us could dance. All of us could dance. So we be in there doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if girls come around, girls gonna get freaked. They just gonna get freaked on. You know what I'm saying? And we just making moves. After a while, like this is before America's Best Dance Crew stuff. After a while, man, we started working on like line dances, I guess you could call them. So we show up in the club, we be the first brothers in, we be the last ones to leave. We hit the floor, there go them KLU boys, man. Oh crap. You know, when we show up in a party, I don't care we didn't care if there was 5 people in there or 500. We partying regardless. You know what I'm saying? We were the life of the party when we showed up, you know?
Love it, man. I'm not gonna talk about the house party scene. That's a whole
Oh Lord.
With those. So I'm gonna keep it moving. So with everything that happened during that time, all the stuff you did in the clubs and everything, you graduated, but you were working on a particular degree, which then you started interning for Foxy 99, which then set the trajectory for where you're at now with Foxy 99 as far as everything you do here. So what led you to that point? And then can you explain like the journey of how it went from being an intern to, I guess, where you're at now with Foxy 99? And then we're going to start getting into the wrestling side of everything.
Okay, so let me see. It was, like I said, it took me 5.5 years to get out of school. You know what I'm saying? So, and one of those reasons was because I forgot what it's called now, but I waited until what I thought was my senior year to do my senior audit. And then I found out that I had to take extra classes. I needed certain classes to get the certain degree, but they were only available certain times of the year. So I had to wait like a whole 2 semesters just to take a class or whatever. So what ended up happening was I started interning on campus for I forgot what the on campus radio station was, but it was like NPR public radio jazz, and they would broadcast like the FSU football games. So that's all I did in there. I was just like making sure the football games were right. And one of my classmates, Joe Emerson, was like, "Yo, you know, I'm interning at Foxy 99. You want to come through?" He's like, "I can tell you how." I was like, "Heck yeah!" So I showed up to Foxy, you know, got the information. UB was he was the promotions director at the time, and he was, showing me things. Then that's when I met Mike Tech, DJ D Rock, Jane Doe, Big Abe, Big Bruce. There was a lot. DJ Capri. I met all of them within my first couple weeks, and like for at first it was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna show up whenever I'm supposed to show up, do what I need to do so I can get my credits and graduate. After about 2 to 3 months in, UB had said to me, he's like, "Hey man, I feel like I showed you everything I need to show you. Why don't you just sit in the studio with Jane?" And so, like, Jane was familiar with me. I would sit in on her shows. I would do prep. I would do prep for all her segments because at the time, and we're looking at this is 2007ish, 6ish, 7ish. So at the time, she was on air from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. She would do your Black History Facts at 10. At 11, she would do, well, in the 10 o'clock hour, Black History Facts. At 11, she would do the 411. 12 o'clock, she'd do a game show. 1 o'clock, she'd redo the 411. And 2 o'clock, she'd do like new music. So I was staffed with doing all her prep, like getting her facts together, finding Black History Facts, finding birthdays, finding newsworthy stuff for her to do. If we're doing a game, I'm probably doing stuff for the game. And then, like, when we're bored, we was doing skits. We do skits on air, So after doing that with Jane for a couple months, Lamont Swing had called her on air. I was like, "Hey, who's the intern with you? G-Money. Hey, tell him to come to my show." So I graduated from Jane's show to Lamont Swing's show. I call him my radio mentor because he literally taught me everything that I know about radio. Well, let's say 90% of what I know about radio, I learned between him and Jane, mostly him because the second day I was on his show, they had, I think Foxy had like this awards dinner or whatever. And like, I had seen his show one time. I was there for one day. He's like, "All right, look, I need you to run my whole show. We're going to do this thing. We're going to go do this awards joint." So I'm like, "What?" And that night, boy, I screwed that show up so bad. Trying to do swing karaoke and do beat the clock and do this and that. I had no idea what I was doing, bro. But I stayed there for a while. Matter of fact, I got hired. I was officially hired. I interned for 10 months and I was hired July 2nd, 2007. And from there, I just did whatever they needed done. I'd be around for everything, until I started DJing. Because I wasn't even thinking about DJing at the time. It wasn't until like 5 years after that I got into that.
Which that leads to one question from the person I'm about to get ready to bring up, because you're now DJ, and then I'm going to talk to you about your DJ journey. So somebody, because you're in music, what are some of your favorite genres of music? I know a couple, but
man, I listen to everything. Well, I listen to everything except for country. I don't really care for country music, but I love reggae. Obviously, I love hip hop and R&B. I just recently fell in love with Afro beats. I love Afro beats. Mm-hmm. I like pop music. Like there was a while where you couldn't say anything bad about Katy Perry around me or we'd have a problem. You know what I'm saying? I love me some Katy Perry. I like a little bit of EDM, soca. Latin. I like Latin music, even though I don't understand it. Just like reggae, I don't understand it, but I love it. So I feel like when it comes to music, I'm well rounded. I listen to everything except for country music and gospel music. That's about it.
All right.
That's random as hell, but.
So you mentioned that before you started doing DJing, you weren't even thinking about DJing. So knowing you, like I said, all the years I know you. Just like me, like we would always go to the club. Just like me going and doing poetry was something none of the crew ever be doing. As doing DJing, I don't think nobody expected you to do that. Like we knew the personality for you was going to be phenomenal, so we all knew that was going to be there. What was the spark that got you to wanting to learn to DJ and become a DJ?
Well, while I'm at Foxy, after Lamont Swing, he took it. He was like, you know what, I'm done. You know, he left radio, so that started moving me around to like weekend shows and stuff like that. So I ended up doing Saturday nights and Sunday nights, and they put me on two mix shows. So I worked with so many DJs. It was Tommy G Mix on Sundays, and then it started out as like DJ Tone or DJ IC or somebody, and then it became DJ Scooby. I've worked with DJ Ruckus, DJ Official, like DJ KDO. I've worked with a lot of DJs, while I'm on these shows, I really had a chance to and sit and watch and listen, and I'm like, man, these guys are making some beautiful these beautiful transitions, the way they take a song and make it into something else. Like I always loved like the art of DJing, but I just never thought about doing it. I actually have, rest in peace, Jam Master Jay is actually my second cousin. And
I did
even
not know that.
yeah. I never talk about it because I never met him. My sister and my mom met him. I never met him. It's just, but so, and my dad used to DJ back in the day. I didn't find that out till after I was DJing. He's like, yeah, I'll go by DJ Sarge, and I should have known because all that old stuff he had in the house that's still there, all that stuff there. He said he used to DJ back in the day, but just watching and every day, like I would show up on times I didn't even have to work just to watch like somebody like DJ D-Rock like do his thing, and like, man, just watching these guys, just the mixing and scratching, and I just, it was one of those things where a light bulb just went off. Like, yo, man, you should try this out, And I felt like I was a late bloomer because how old was I when I started DJing? What's been what, 8 years? I started when I was 28, 29. Yeah, so, and I was like, man, I just want to try it out, and shout out to my man DJ Official, because at the time, I think he had just went from the controller, the Newmark NS7, to turntables. So he just had it at it because he was at matter of fact, at the time, me, him, DJ Remedy, Davis, Reese, and a couple of guys. We was throwing parties at Mariani's in Pembroke. And like Remedy and DJ and Official would DJ. I would host them, you know what I'm saying? And that was our thing. And one day I was just talking about DJ, and Official was like, yo, man, I got some equipment that I'm not even using, man. If you want to borrow it, and I was like, heck yeah. And then I got a music dump from some of my peers, and that began the journey of me trying to DJ.
And you've been doing a fantastic job because you've been DJing a lot of before the pandemic. You've been doing a lot. You probably still got a lot planned going into 2021, regardless of what is happening. I'm pretty sure there's stuff in the works, and I know that for all artists that I know. And if not, I'm speaking into existence. So I'm going ahead and saying that now. Like, what are some of the places? I guess this would be a question. I guess as far as for DJing, what do you think has been one of your greatest achievements thus far with being a DJ? Like,
a DJ?
Yeah, like with being a DJ. Because I know I got to transition to all the other stuff you do, but I at least wanted to get the chunk of DJing down before we go to the next path you took that you're taking out.
Before I get to that, I want to send a shout out to Tommy G Mix, DJ D-Rock, because Tommy G Mix on certain Sundays would like after the show, he would show me like some basics. Like I had a chance to touch turntables and like try to beat match there. And then D-Rock, like I call D-Rock my DJ mentor because like I learned a lot of what I learned from D-Rock. But D-Rock and Tommy G Mix were the first ones to be like, hey, yo, get on these tables. You know what I'm saying? So as far as achievements, so let's say if we want to say achievements.
Let me paraphrase it. Achievement as far as what do you think has been something great you did? Like you ain't got to go off like saying the award you got. Like
okay. So something great. No. This is okay. So I call this an achievement, even though it cost us dearly. But I I like to credit myself with being that, as far as I know, the only DJ that I know that has literally cracked a floor in a club. I don't know anybody that's done that. So I'm gonna tell you, I think it was 2016, 20. It was either November 2016 or November 2017. I was DJing an Aqua nightclub, and it was, matter of fact, it was daylight savings time, and I was DJing upstairs,
I remember this.
and I had, bruh, there was so many people upstairs, and I'm just hitting with banger after banger after banger, and like now downstairs, I heard that people heard the floor like they heard like some cracking. So management was like, that ain't right. Like, that ain't right. So they're like, you know what? Let's just get everybody up out of here. Let's get everybody up out. And what actually happened was the floor had sunk in about 6 inches. Sunk in 6 inches upstairs. Yeah. Now we found out later that it was a structural flaw by whoever made the building. They didn't put beams in the right places or whatever. But so the club was closed for a couple months so that they could dig up the floor and put the beams in. But at the time, it was funny because I remember one of my friends who shall remain nameless. He's like, man, Luke, if I was in that club, man, I'd tear the house down. And it's crazy because the next week I literally did that. Floor crack. I don't know anybody else has done that, man. I don't. So, that plus I've had the honor and pleasure of DJing certain events. Like, I was a DJ for it was a music festival in Charlotte, like back in 2015. It's crazy because I showed up with my boys, Nice, and it was Nice and and Organic Music, and we just showed up because they just wanted me to be the DJ for their performance. And the guy who ran it, his name is James Caldwell. Shout out to James. And he was like, "Hey man, G-Money, Fox 99." I was, yeah, damn, how you know this? We out in Charlotte. And, man, would you want to DJ the whole thing? So, like, I DJ'd a couple music festivals. I was the official DJ for the Hoops and Dreams basketball tournament in 2018 and 19. It's just a few small things. Like, I ain't never been no DJ of the year. Nothing. I ain't that nice, but I like to think that I've done some good things DJ wise.
One thing you forgot to mention, and it's funny, I'm surprised you didn't mention it, and it's funny because you posted this like, if not yesterday, today. You remember the 2-6 cipher you was actually.
Oh yes, I did DJ the 2-6 cipher. Tony Love tagged me in it. Dang, he sure did. Shout out to Mark Mayer and OG Dope Crew and everybody that was a part of that, man. That was I love that. That was dope.
If you guys haven't seen the 2-6 cipher, I'm pretty sure you can find that on YouTube. It should be on YouTube where you can look it up. It's literally a lot of the hip hop artists got together and they did a big cipher in front of the Market House. It was dope. It was definitely dope.
Oh man, can I tell you a quick story real quick? So back in, I saw my boy Chris Wright is up here. DJ Butter was good. So yes, Butter Smooth. So I want to tell the story. It involves him. It was, you remember when the Mayan calendar said the world was going to end? I believe it was 2012, right?
Yes.
So a good friend of mine had hit me up. He was like, "Yo, man, you want to DJ this end of the world party?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, sure, why not?" I think I was literally within my first year of DJing, so I DJ anywhere. I didn't care for whatever. So I called Chris. I was like, "Yo, man, it's this party, blah blah blah. It's out there. It was way out there off Cedar Creek, man. It was just out there." I was like, "I don't get off air till midnight. If you start this," and Nisha didn't teach me how to do anything. So so we went out there early, set up our stuff at like 3-4 o'clock. Left. He went back about 9 o'clock, about 8 or 9 to start the party. You know what I'm saying? So it's out there on some farm. You know what I'm saying? They done brought kegs of beer and all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm texting him throughout the night, like, yo, how's it? You know, how's everything going? He's like, yeah, it's cool, it's cool. About an hour later, he sends me a picture, and he texts me a picture, and the picture is from the ground floor, and it's a picture of a cop with a damn shotgun pointed at somebody's head. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And he's like, yo, and he texts me, he's like, the cops raided the place. I was like, yo, I was like, what? So I was like, he couldn't even talk to me that much. So when I get off air, I'm speeding down to Cedar Creek, and the spot was like the radio Foxy 99 is like outside, is downtown, like a hop, skip, and a jump away from Eastern Boulevard. So I shoot across there, I drive all the way. It was like 15 minutes out. When I get there, man, there's nothing but like, man, like the feds was out. No, it was ATF. ATF was out there. And like we get there, like they had people like in handcuffs and stuff, and I just show up. I was like Chris was cool. Like he was like, man, he was trying to get his DJ stuff. I went to one of the guys, I was like, hey, look, man, we were supposed to DJ the party. We don't know nothing about nothing, man. We just trying to get our equipment. And he was like, nah, we about to seize this and, you know, this and that, and we about to take it and do this. It was like, yo, man, come on, man, this, and this. That come to find out, and I didn't even think about it, but the guys that were throwing the party were running commercials on the radio. And the commercials was like, in 2012, the Mayans said the world would end. Well, we're going to go out with a bang. It's the end of the world party. 20 kegs of beer. Da, 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 da. And it was because they was advertising so much beer. No, that's not even it. That's not even it. Now that I think about it, it's not even it. So, all right. I'm gonna tell you why afterwards. So like the dude is in there, like one of the officers, the agents, man, he was being a dick, dog. It was December something. He's like, man, we gonna take your stuff. He's like, we're not gonna use it. We're just gonna take it to a pile and run everything over it, you know, with a bulldozer. I'm like, bro, like, why would you do something like this? Like, no, like it's almost Christmas, man. Like we out here just trying to make a buck, man. I don't even drink, dog. I don't drink. You know what I'm saying? And like, it took us like 30 minutes to get our stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, all right. And his partner was like, look, we'll let you get your stuff, but don't you ever do another party with alcohol, and you better ask to see the liquor license or whatever. Yes, sir. You absolutely right. I even took some guys home. I had no idea who they were, but the dude that they came with got arrested. So like they had no way home. So I just took like these 3 random dudes to their crib. But come to find out, the farm that they had used, motherfuckers was running drugs out of there. But the people that threw the party had no idea. Or so they say. I don't know. Allegedly. So we was like, me and Chris was like, yo, we ain't never doing no parties out in the woods ever again, man. And I want to thank you, Butter. Thank you, my brother, for being there with me, you know. And I'm so glad that your stuff didn't get destroyed, because I was broke at the time. I don't know how the hell I was going to pay for it. So,
man, that story is hilarious. So, in the midst of you doing all those great things that you were doing with music, with DJing, I've always known you and a lot of our friends as avid lovers of wrestling.
Yes.
There would be nights where we would watch some pay-per-views. There would be times where I would meet up with y'all when I can at Hooters to go see like the WrestleManias and everything of that nature. But you recently done another thing that a lot of people wasn't expected of G-Money. You've done another thing that nobody was expecting, and that was you started training to become a professional wrestler. So explain this new, you still DJing, but explain this new branch that's on this tree that you're creating.
First thing I'm going to do before I get into that story, I like the way that you're going to sit there and act like we all didn't used to live together. Talk about some, I used to go by here. Nah, bro, we all used to have WWE games, SmackDown versus Raw. or whatever the game was at the time. We would all be creating characters. We'd all be creating characters, and we'd be having battle royals in my room because I had the PlayStation. Like Phil had the GameCube. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So
I was trying to shorten the time.
All you had to do was walk from one room to the other room.
We did.
And see us in there just going to work. Just that's. But anyway,
we stayed up mad nights playing those.
Man, look, I'm gamers, straight gamers, talking mad shit to each other.
I think we used to do some of those like before we even went to the. No, that's all. I think
we do that before the club. We come back from the club.
Yep.
And I never had no girls, so I get right back on the game. We ain't gonna speak on that though.
Yeah, cause my wife watching, man. She's gonna her right there with the smiley face. So I'm pretty sure.
Man, look.
Here shortly.
Yo, this show will last 2+ hours if I started telling some stories. But no, we ain't gonna do that. So, all right. So, yes, indeed. What's good, Matthew? How you living, man? Yes, sir. Just there. Speaking of that, right? So, while I've always loved wrestling. Always loved wrestling. Now, well, first let me start with the podcast because this is podcast Smash the Mat. That's my wrestling podcast. Started in 2017. At first, I had so many different people on the show, like starting it out. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because like my love of wrestling culminated into like I just want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? My podcast has evolved like every which way. If you like wrestling, make sure you check it out. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify. We're going to be on Amazon. We got the YouTube channel. Anyway. So what we did was, it started with this. You know, because I had a chance to be like a guest ring announcer certain places, guest timekeeper certain places. And while I was working at Aqua Nightclub, one of my good friends, and I have to say rest in peace to my boy Shane Martin, GTL, the greatest talent living, Panamanian muscle. Rest in peace to him. He was a bouncer at the club. And he had been wrestling for 16 years. So I had been DJing there since 2016 or whatever. So every weekend, you know, he'd either get there late or whatever, because he has shows. So he'd be like, "Yo, G, man, I got a match here. Can you come out?" You know what I'm saying? And Nisha, that's Shane, Shane, but I ain't correcting you or nothing. But he would be like, "Yo, check out my match," you know what I'm saying? You know, can you come out to the show? This. I could never make it out to a show for a long time. But I used to ask him, he was like, "Yo, man, I'm gonna bring you to a ring and we can, you know, do like I'll show you some stuff." And I'll be like, "Yo, where do you train?" Yes, please. Where do you train? I would love to go see how you guys do things. I would like to get in the ring, blah, blah, blah. Now, for 3 years, I've been asking him, "Where do you train?" And every time he said that he had a place for me, like he couldn't do it. Like, "Oh man, I think I could get to this spot." And then we be talking throughout the week, nothing. So my boy Low Keys, me and him, like we go way back too. Like before he became a bodybuilder, he was a rapper, and like we just developed a friendship over years. Now he used to me and him used to go to wrestling shows all the time. You know what I'm saying? If something came to Fayetteville or Raleigh, you know, me and him, we out. You know, we going. So, like, after he started bodybuilding, you know, he was like, "Man," he's like, "I got the look. I just need to just try it out." And we would talk about it. So, one day, he just found himself at Ring Wars, Carolina. It was like last August or September. He shot me a text. No, he hit me up on Instagram. He's like, "Yo, G, I'm here training to wrestle. What's up?" The next Sunday, I was in there. And that's how it began. All it took was a text message. And that got me started. And so I've been training for I think about 15 months now. Had my first match in May, and I've had about 6 matches so far.
Yeah, I was privileged to take the family out to the last one you did with the tag team.
Yes,
And
yes.
it was funny. It was funny, and it was also dope because one, seeing you wrestling was like the funniest thing in the world. And I can told you at the end of the match, you having a back and forth with somebody across the ring while the other
Yeah.
was funny. And then looking at it for the fact that my son was watching, my 17-year-old son, who I don't even think really watched wrestling like that, but like got to see it, and he was enjoying himself the whole time, laughing at everybody's characters, including yours. It was definitely like it was dope. It was dope, and like I'm blessed to say I see you in that light and seeing you do so much with the wrestling. What's the next? So I'm actually two things. One dealing with the podcast, one dealing with the matches. So what are some of the next events that you have coming up as far as with wrestling? And also, are you more so a singles wrestler or are you a tag team wrestler?
So me and Keys, well, his work name is Alpha Ace. And I think the plan from jump was I was gonna be cool either way, but he was like, "Yo, we should tag together," And I was like, "Yeah, cool." Like he looks like $1,000,000. I look like about $175. Like we could get it popping. You know what I'm saying? So this is copyright infringement, but we was like throwing names together. And there's this game that I used to play on PS4 that I really, 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 really like called Broforce, and you played it. Yeah, it's the bro in black. Yeah,
every with it somewhere.
Look, if you have a PS, I think it might be on Xbox too. It's like a cheap game. It's like $4. I got it for free at the time because it was on a special. They take a bunch of action heroes from movies. They throw bro in their name and then it's like a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. I love that game. So we was throwing names at each other, and I was like, "Hey, what about Broforce or something with Force in it?" He's like, "I like Broforce." So we have been working on creating that team for a while, but things been happening. But the next couple events I have. So let me tell you this. With the podcast, right? Mm-hmm. So we started out just talking wrestling, just talking about the majors, but last year, one of my good friends, James Hunter, I went to elementary school. We reconnected, and I didn't know that this dude was a referee. And now, not only is he a referee, he's one of the best, like not in just North Carolina, but in the world. So, and I learned how necessary it is to be a good referee. So anyway, so like he asked us to. He's like, "Hey, would you guys want to be a sponsor for this company that I'm teaming with? It's their very first show, and it was Alternative Championship Entertainment. So we were a sponsor for the show, and when we showed up, we were like, so what are we gonna do here? Like we're just sitting here while there's wrestling going on. So we were just like, why don't we just do commentary? And we're like, well, I mean, sure, why don't we try it out? So that one night turned into us. Now we go to other shows. We go to indie shows and we like, hey, what's up? What's going on? We're from Smash Mouth Podcast. We just want to come out here, do commentary for your show, you know what I'm saying? Just to get the word out. And it's been really huge for us. Like people want us to come out because, and that's just like I saw Matthew Somerville. It's one thing when you listen to a podcast and you hear people talk about, like the Rocks, the Triple H's, Stone Colds, or like today, your Johnny Gargano's, Kenny Omega's, Chris Jericho's, whatever. But to hear a podcast talk about you and you're a local wrestler, that is something completely different. And like there are people that reach out like, yo, man, hey, would y'all come out to our show? Would you come to the show? You know what I'm saying? Because people like to hear, like, nobody's ever heard about themselves on a podcast like this before. And it's great for people. Like, because I'm gonna tell you, the life of an indie wrestler is a tough life. It is no joke. You know what I'm saying? And it's oftentimes, I won't say it's a thankless job because if you're at a show, you'll be appreciative. But there's a lot of people who don't go to certain shows, but you hear this, then you hear our podcast, you're like, man, this this Ace show sounds good, or this APW show, or this RWC show sounds really, really interesting. I might have to go check it out next time. So it's like we're trying to bridge the gap between wrestlers and wrestling fans. There's a lot of great wrestling that happens in your neighborhood, in your backyard, in your town, in your city. And you don't even know about it. And you know what I'm saying? And there's good, clean entertainment. Some you could take your family to, and like we just try to push that. But to answer your question, my home promotion is Ring Wars Carolina, and we do well. Our last show of the year is yes, Jay, Smash the Mat, absolutely, J5, yes sir. And our next show, actually our last show of the year, is December the 5th. It's in Lumberton, and it's at the Priscilla King Arena, 612 East 2nd Street. It's the indoor flea market. So that's going to be the last show of the year for Ring Wars Carolina before the new year, and they're going to be doubling up the shows next year. So you'll have a lot of chances to see me not screw things up, or maybe screw things up. I don't know. But also December the 12th in Rockingham at the Rockingham Fire Rescue Squad, Adrenaline Pro Wrestling is holding a memorial event for Shane Martin. Now, Shane Martin, they just had their last show this past Saturday, and Shane Martin was a double champion. He was the APW heavyweight champion and the APW cruiserweight champion. So, but he lost the cruiserweight title in a 6-man ladder match, but he's still the heavyweight champion. And actually, me and Aaron Matthews, shout out my man Aaron Matthews, because he won the belt. And me and Shane were actually working on doing a match together. Like I had already talked to Eddie at RWC. I was like, yo, man, me and Shane want to do a match. Shane hasn't been at RWC in years, but he was like, yo, I just want to let you know, me and Shane are planning on putting on a match. We haven't decided where we're going to do it yet, and like he wanted us to do it there. And he was like, yo, you can do it. We can do a match at APW, but I was holding off because he was the heavyweight champion, so, but he's gone now. And, so his the memorial show, December the 12th. And I just asked Big Tat and anybody there. I was like, look, I just want to be a part of the show. I don't care what capacity in it. You ain't got to pay me. I just want to be there to honor my boy's memory. So my bad. I'm getting choked up. But those are my, well, I'm hoping for the APW show, but RWC December the 5th. Yes, for sure. And then we just do random stuff sometimes, man. Like, so yeah.
So number one, shout out to him. Like I said, I didn't personally know him. But even any way you look at it, like when death comes early, it's part of God's plan, but it still doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. But I know that event's going to be a phenomenal event. For everybody that heard about the event, please definitely go check it out. If you can, especially if you're in the Rockingham area, please go check that event out. Please go support that event. Please do what you can, because it is I believe you said it's like a fundraising event too, right? Or like,
well, I'm not exactly sure if it's a fundraiser. I just know it's just like a memorial, like they just did one. Well, they just had a fundraiser this past Saturday because a good friend of mine, Flex Simmons, he lost his mother last Tuesday, and like that event that we just did on Saturday, that was a straight fundraiser, you know what I'm saying, just to help out the family. So I'm not sure if this one is going to be that, but I just know it's a memorial event. So it was so fresh, it just happened. So like we don't have any information as far as funerals and stuff, but I just know if they're honoring his memory, I plan on being there in some capacity. I'll wrestle if they want me to, but I just like to, I just want to show up.
Yeah, definitely, man. So. Definitely. Oh man, so
I'm sorry, man.
No. Like it's okay. So and this is like true transparency. So like the fact of like even that And I'll go ahead and put this out there now. So like we were talking earlier, like y'all heard me at G reminiscing like about our club days and everything of that nature. But also we recently, one of our friends from back in the club days, she just recently passed away in a motorcycle accident. And I think it's just that like moments like this, man. And by all means, you didn't deter the mood one bit, man. I just think it just shows that like at the end of the day, man, life is precious, and like you want to you cherish those friends, you cherish those memories you have with those folks, man, in the best way you can. So by all means, like don't apologize. Don't apologize for you showing your heart for somebody that's just passed on. Like by all means, don't do that, man. Because if somebody I know passed and we was talking about, I would do the same, bro. Like by all means, you good. We fam, you know that. You know that past this interview, so you never got to apologize for that. But I do got to ask you. I want to ask you something about Smash the Mat.
Okay.
Real fast. So I know you said it was on Spotify. I know you said it was on Apple Music too, correct?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. It's literally, we literally have it anywhere that you can get podcasts from. Like I've seen at least Pandora, Spotify, Radio Public, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast. Somebody's called me restricted. I don't answer calls from people I don't know. Yeah, we're on anywhere that has podcasts. We on there. Like I heard Amazon was introducing podcasts soon. I already submitted it there already, and we actually just like I told you earlier, we just started doing more videos. So we're gonna be matter of fact this Sunday for all my Survivor Series fans, WWE. You know what I'm saying? If you plan on watching WWE Survivor Series, Smash the Mat is planning on going live right after the show, just like this, just to talk about the show and things that happen. And in the very near future, we're going to find somebody that knows, that's a mental health specialist, and we're going to get them on the show to talk about dealing with depression and things like that. And if you're just hearing about this, you want to check us out, man. Like we've got interviews with Caprice Coleman, with Glacier. I've interviewed Bill Alfonso from back in the day, ECW. I've interviewed Carmella, Dolph Ziggler. It's been a lot of people. We talk about a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all wrestling related, but we just try to do our thing. You know what I'm saying? And let me shout out my partners. Sir Dizzle of Bizzle, DB, my man J5, Mr. Magnificent, our newest member, Chantilly Lace with Miss Style and Grace. And my boys trying to video chat me I can't do that now. So
I will say this for anybody that's not heard Smash the Mat podcast, please go listen to it. The commentary is beautiful. And I will also encourage you to listen to a specific episode. See, I made sure I said it right.
All right. We don't do that Pacific. We don't do that.
That recently just happened when they have commentary over Hell in the Cell, and the first 15 minutes is like almost like they're about to fight. So they started talking about something, and it feels like it went left real quick, and nobody knew what was going on at the moment. So by all means,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Please check out the podcast. The podcast is a wonderful thing, and please support it. So other than that, as far as your DJing, WZFX, Fox 99, what time frames can they hear you on during that time?
So I could look. We went this whole thing, and I completely forgot to mention that I'm on every single day from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And I do Saturday show from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. But it's not me DJing. It's it's just me just hosting the show. But I still DJ every now and again on air. But I'm gonna tell you, the pandemic done wiped the floor with us. Matter of fact, the pandemic done wiped the floor with the radio industry in general. Like we are, man, they messed us up. Like they messed us up. I'm just amazed that I still have to work in the building, because all my friends that work at other stations in other markets, like, man, we working from home. Not me. I'm in the studio every day. I ain't seen no vacations, no breaks, none of that. But I ain't complaining either. Not complaining. I'm just saying.
Cool.
I'm just saying. My boy still. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. My little sister Anisha is my first wrestling partner for the frame. I used to power bomb the crap out of her. Try every move that I knew at the time. Me beating up on my little sister, man. Yes, this is true. This is true. Yeah.
Man. Last question. This is the
And now I'm doing it to my nephews.
last question for me. What is one thing people can expect when they meet Greg G-Money Johnson for the first time?
Man, I would say it depends on what capacity you meet me in, but like I try to be one way all the time, man. Like I personally feel like I am just full of life, man. I'm just full of life. You know, I try to be positive. A lot of times I like to be funny, make jokes. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're not. You know, I talk a lot of trash. I talk a hell of a lot of trash. You know, if I like you, I'm gonna talk shit to you. If I don't like you, I'll probably talk shit to you too. So you know, you have to figure it out. But 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 I mean, like I feel like I feel like I have knowledge. You know, I feel like I have knowledge. Um, I'm there when people need to talk about anything. I try to make myself available. You know, and like whenever I like
Yeah.
my boys up here. Anytime like they feel like they need to talk, they can hit me up, and I like to be that for anybody. Like even if you don't know me, and because it's too many times. Like, look, we lost Shane. My
Mhm.
barber committed suicide earlier this year. 2 years ago, around this same time, one of my we weren't like good friends, but we were cool. One of my friends committed suicide because of depression. And it's like it kills me. It kills me because like there are people that love you out here. You know what I'm saying? There are people that want to see you do well. Okay, yes, there are gonna be bad days. You know what I'm saying? But there are also gonna be good days. There's two things for certain. After the worst day of your life, after the absolute worst day of your life, guess what? Things keep going. You know what I'm saying? The days keep passing. After the worst day of your life, you still got to get up and do what you got to do. On the best day of your life, oh my God, this is the greatest day ever. This is the greatest day ever. Guess what? The next day, you still gotta get up and do what you gotta do. Life continues on your good days, on your bad days. You just gotta keep going, man. Shout out to my boy Yodo.
Mhm.
So Aaron Ann said my brother practiced a lot of superfly snook on me back in the day. Yeah, man. I just try to be a positive influence. You know what I'm saying? Try to be a positive influence. I just want to be a credit to the human race. You know, and
So go
and I want to
ahead.
make you dance when you come to the club and G Money's in the building, or it's the Get Wet Gang, GWG. You already know you gonna sweat your ass off. Believe that.
I have to also point out too that G-Money is also not only just a DJ. He will also like start a track. Will lead a DJ booth and go dance on the floor
Yes,
before he goes back up there and start DJing. There is documented video footage of this
this is
somewhere.
facts. There's
Like,
lots of it. I used to have some on my phone, but like every now and again on my time hop, I'll see like a video. It was like on this day 3 years ago, and I'm in the booth at Aqua. You know what I'm saying, doing my thing. Next thing you know, I go out and like some unsuspecting woman just gets, you know, just happens. No disrespect. I just came to dance. You know what I'm saying?
so before we end this event, just end the show, I have to genuinely say that G-Money is right, and what I mean by he is right, and some people have also commented on it. I try to put it up here as well. G has been he is always like one of the go-to people I talk to when I can, and we've had conversations a lot of times, and he don't know how much of an asset he's been to me when we had a chance to talk. I remember one day when I was driving, I think to go pick up my son, I just called him out of the blue just to tell him like, um, how happy I am with everything he's doing, because the man is doing a lot, and
he literally does that.
And for the crew that's actually like the KOU crew that's actually been in the boxes, commenting, they are doing a lot too, and like it's just president. They're like, so we may not be around each other as much, and that comes with growing up, but we still support each other when we can. So like, and you see everybody's growth, and G has been definitely making the moves, and I'm thankful to know this brother. I'm thankful to call him a friend. I'm thankful to call him a brother. I'm thankful to have been a roommate at one point. I'm thankful to beat him in. I'm thankful that I beat him in a couple games, not all games, and I'm cool with that. I'll live with that. A couple. I said a couple. I said a couple.
Look, let me tell you guys about before you know LJ as the poet and all this stuff. So 7 years in a row from summer of 2001. Well, actually, I didn't know you in 2001, but 7 years in a row, we went to Bike Week in Myrtle Beach. And I believe the last 4 years that I was going, you were there. And we would look, that guy, wait, hold up. That guy's wild. That's a wild dude. That's a wild dude. He done calmed down because he got married. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Monica? What's good? She locked him down. Like, she got him in that. Shut up. You just gonna be a husband. That's it. That's all. You gonna be a husband and do some poetry. That's it. You know what I'm saying? This guy, man.
You a fool, bro. We'll always have Planet Hollywood.
Oh man, bro. I'm looking at it. See, look, we ain't got time for this, man.
We ain't got time.
No, we could, outside. I could just tell you club stories, and it'll take about an hour and a half.
Hey, look,
my man T. Dot, Demetrius, they know.
Look, so then,
you know what I'm saying? My man. Oh, wait a minute. Look, is that Puzzle, aka Smurf, up in here? Man, look. I got stories for days.
We'll go here soon. So,
you know what I mean?
I'm going to speak this into existence. Sometime next year, I will probably do like a live or some sort, and I will try to get as many of the fam on here as possible, and we will share, and we will go ahead and share some stories just to do it for everybody. Because like, it's funny how everybody we know now, like I said, it's growth seeing everybody that we were involved with somehow, because a lot of people don't know, and I'm not going to name no names. A lot of people that are doing big things in the city used to be the people that used to come to our house parties. I'm not going to name nobody. I'm not going to name some people, but we know some people. We'll leave it at that.
Everybody had a pass. You know what I'm saying? You literally made me forget what I was about to say. I don't even remember what it was about to be good, but you caught me off guard with that one. That was
like somewhere around the corner from me. So,
yeah, man.
So real quick, guys, everybody, real quick. I want to thank Greg, G-Money Johnson, for tuning in. If you guys did not get a chance to see the video, it is going to be on YouTube. It's definitely on Facebook Live. But if you want the easy way to watch this video, please go to YouTube. You can look up LJ Bowens. You will find this video. If you want to know more about Smash the Mat, hopefully I did not mess this up. I believe you can find Smash the Mat on YouTube, I believe.
Yes, this is
all
true.
Right. Also, you can look up the Smash the Mat podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, and I want to put all streaming platforms speaking to existence.
It is.
Even if it ain't on something. Yep.
If there happens to be one that we're not on, you let me know, and I will find it, and we will be on there.
Yep. Also, you can follow G-Money on Twitter, Instagram at G_money. So make sure you go follow him.
That's MONIY with an I, not an E, baby. You know what it is.
And I think
Phil, why you so late? Oh, I done told all these great stories, and you gonna show up all late, just like a Negronian, man.
Man, Phil, you gotta watch.
Now you gotta just watch the whole thing. Now you just gotta wait till it goes up. Now, bro, look at the time. Wait, where's it? Wait, there. Look at the time.
And does Demetrius say we had Demetrius say shut down?
Yeah, exactly.
and because you mentioned her so much, my wife. Oh,
yes.
Phil just look. I said my wife. I said my wife, and then that came up. Hold on. There we go. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, she's heard the story. I know you have. You had to have.
I had to
You had to have heard some of them. But now you got to hear them from my point of view. See, he told the story, but he didn't tell it like I would tell the story.
All right.
You
Like
know?
you got away with it, but you ain't get away with it.
Right.
So one time, Greg, thank you so much for
Locked his keys in the car.
first season, man. Like I said, I didn't expect this to have this many episodes, and the fact that we're gonna have a lot more coming up next year. So I want to go ahead and let you guys know we have a lot of people lined up right now, but our first artist kicking off season two of Art to Heart is none other than the OG voice of Ash Ketchum. Veronica Taylor will be our first guest for next year's.
I want to be the very best.
cool person, and it's definitely dope. Y'all gonna love the conversation we have with her, and it's gonna be fun. Like if it's anything like it was with Megan Holland, when she started dropping F-bombs, and I can only imagine what's gonna happen with Veronica Taylor. So with that being said,
can I say one more thing?
Go
First thing I want to say is my brother LJ. I try to make sure that I buy everything that he has. Wait, this way? No, that way. God, why can't I get this right? But everything that LJ releases, I make sure to have a piece. I want to make sure to support my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like I love him dearly. You know what I'm saying? And you are doing amazing things, bro. Amazing things. Like back in the day when you was writing. Like granted. I at first I thought you was just doing it just to get women. When you was doing the poetry thing. But you took it and you made it into something amazing, and I definitely want to show you appreciation on that. You know what I'm saying? Like you are a dream chaser. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to tell you that the fact that you have the courage to chase your dreams, that is an amazing thing, my brother. Amazing. So honestly, like I'm motivated by you. You know what I'm saying? You be going all over the place doing stuff. I'm like, man, why can't I wrestle? Why the hell can't I wrestle? Why not? You know what I'm saying? So the other thing, this is a shameless plug, but I didn't even get a chance to mention this, but my podcast, Smash the Mat, we actually produce TV shows for Ring Wars Carolina.
Yes, and, I forgot all about that. Please talk about that.
Yeah. So shout out to my boy Daniel Coleman. He's our camera guy. We have been recording like every show that we've done since February, and they're showing our episodes on Roku TV on the King Network every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. If you have a Roku, you can check out the Ring Wars Carolina Battlegrounds. Okay. Also, the owner doesn't know this, but we created a YouTube. We created a Ring Wars Carolina TV YouTube, and we're putting every episode that we make, we're throwing it on the YouTube. Like if he's watching, he'd be like, "No, you're not." Yes, we are. So, so if you don't have a Roku, you know what I'm saying, and you want to see a couple of my matches, you know, see how terrible I am because it's only been a couple months. You know what I'm saying? Check out Ring Wars Carolina TV on YouTube and, you know, get it popping. But the crazy thing is, I just want to say one more thing. So because of the commentary thing that we do here, like I'm actually my goal now, because I'm a 37-year-old rookie. Yes, I told my age. I didn't plan on doing it. I'm a 37-year-old rookie in wrestling, right? You know what I'm saying? But in wrestling, you can do anything. But because of the fact that we've started this commentary journey, like if one of us happens to get signed somewhere, that's amazing. But for me, I'm like, shoot, now I'm a double threat because not only do I wrestle, I do commentary, and I'm learning every day, and I'm watching everything. I'm watching boxing, I'm watching MMA, whatever, because I would love to be the next Jim Ross or the next Tony Schiavone or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying, be the next great black commentator that you've never heard of. I would love to do that. You know what I'm saying? Let me do both. You know, and I just like the fact that I'm not limiting myself. Because if you would have told me, if you'd have told me 2 years ago that if you'd have told me 10 years ago that I'd possibly be doing commentary and wrestling, I'd tell you to kiss the bottom left. Never mind. But just know, I didn't expect, like every year I feel like I'm doing something different and something new, and you're never too young or old to try something out. I swear to it, man. If there's something that you want to do and you're not sure about, research it and do it. I'm telling you. Research it and do it. Nothing is easy. Nothing is easy, but everything is worth it. Believe that.
You gave a whole word, bro. You gave a whole word. Like that is more than enough. So I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm
messing up my spin. I can't get my spin right. I'm sorry.
So to end this show, I have to, and by all means, I appreciate the kind words, G. I have to also say that when you're family, you do what you can and make sure there's always food that everybody can eat off of together. One time, and this is just a quick story real quick before I end this out. So a lot of people don't know. A lot of people know. Some people know, and a lot of people don't know. Aside from doing poetry, I used to host crump events.
That's right. You did.
And G came through right when he started DJing and helped DJ one of the biggest.
I sure did, didn't I? I forgot about that.
One of the most phenomenal events we've done, like to the point that everybody had years on end. I still get the call like from folks that still do the crump events every now and then. Have been asking when will we do another one again. So it's in the talks. I will hit you up so we can bring that back. But I just wanted to point that out, like because when fam is fam, you always stay connected, man, and that's the beautiful thing. Seeing all these KOU chats.
Angela, what's up?
It is a beautiful thing.
Tell my nephew Marley was good.
Man, I done got bad now. I can do any dance but crump now. Like
them bones start cracking.
The game didn't change so much.
Oh, has it? Yeah.
It's changed a lot. Everybody, I gotta go ahead and get out of here because we're on time. G-Money, thank you so much. One more time.
Thank you.
Give out your socials.
Okay, just like you said, on Instagram and Twitter, G_MONIY. All right, on Facebook, you can find me at Greg G-Money Johnson. That's always G-Money with an I and not an E. On YouTube, check out my podcast, YouTube, Smash the Mat Podcast. Just search it like that. I have a G-Money YouTube. I ain't did nothing with it. I'm going to probably start putting my matches up there soon. But also, you can find me on MySpace. I'm on Black Planet. I'm on farmersonly.com. I'm on Smash the Mat is on Tinder. You can swipe right on Smash the Mat. You can find us on. All right, we always do that with the podcast. I was just throwing that out there. Now, those are three. The big three: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. That's what I rock with, man. All I can say is, I appreciate everybody that's checked this out, man. If you happen to like wrestling, make sure you check out the podcast. You know what I'm saying? If you live in the North Carolina area, we may be coming to a city near you for a show. You never know. And matter of fact, even if we're not there, if you hear about a show, just go check it out. Just go check it out because like wrestling is for the family. Wrestling is fun, man. You never know how much fun you got. We have a lot of people come out to the Ring Wars Carolina shows, man. I hate to say fans, but I have fans now that have no idea that I do DJ. They know that I wrestle. And people be messaging me and say, "This is just so wild, man. This is crazy, man. I love it. I love life, man.
This is dope.
I love it. Thank you
guys. So thank you, brother. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our season finale of Art to Heart. Like I said, our next one will not be till January because we do this bi-monthly, and we definitely got a lot of things going on. Once again, Smash the Mat. Go to Spotify. Go to all streaming platforms. Follow it. Support it. Go to their YouTube channel because they got videos up now, so you can actually see all the madness. But they're face to face doing all the talking, so it's probably going to be making even that much more eventful. But at the end of the day, guys, please, 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 please support everything that's going on. I'll literally tell you, if you guys love wrestling, please support the indie promotion that they're doing, because like the indie promotions, I will be honest with you, the big ones are great, but when you see it from an indie level, it's the best support, because the indie from wrestlers do so much more. And that's what get them started on the path to know that they're doing the right thing in order to get to the big leagues.
That's so true.
So please do it. And just to implement what Greg said earlier, it's the holidays coming up, guys. We know the pandemic has been hammering everybody down, but the biggest thing is you are loved. You wake up every morning, know that people care about you. Please, please, please keep fighting. Please, please, please know that there is going to always be a brighter day, regardless of the bad day you're having. There will always be a brighter day as soon as you wake up, and no one is too far to reach, because everybody is a phone call away or an instant message away. Please, please, please reach out to everybody, guys. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all, and always remember, purpose over popularity. Y'all take care. Peace.